Hey folks, hope you had a great weekend. By the time you watch this video on Monday or Tuesday or on Wednesday, whenever you watch it, and thank you, by the way, for continuing to watch, between Thanksgiving and the day you watch, I will have visited 4 or 5 cities by that time. And we are in that period between Thanksgiving and the end of the year. We are in what is for many the holiday season. And I had the opportunity last week to do some hiring training in the Northeast. And while I talk about hiring, one of the areas we talk about, of course, is those questions that we cannot ask because they directly relate to somebody's membership in an equal employment opportunity protected class. Included in that conversation is specifically a dialogue about religious beliefs. And I want to share with you, particularly given the time of year in which we currently sit, part of the dialogue that I have during that training, and it deals with people who don't celebrate the same holidays that you do, or people that don't celebrate holidays at all. Far too often, whether it is in the context of the interview, whether it is while you are with your colleagues, we are sort of involuntarily saying to people, Merry Christmas. What are your plans for Christmas? Are you excited for Christmas? And I will tell you, it happens to me on a daily basis this time of year. Folks, my last name is Cohen, and it is spelled C-O-H-E-N. To the extent you did not know this, I will tell you there are very few names on planet Earth, perhaps none, more Jewish than Cohen, spelled C-O-H-E-N. And notwithstanding that fact, people who know me and who have known me during this time of the year all the time come up to me and say exactly those things I just described. Hey, Mike, are you excited for Christmas? Hey, Mike, what are your plans for Christmas? Hey, Mike, I've heard you talk about your daughters. Are they so excited for Santa to come visit them? Bro, my daughters are 22 and 18. I'm pretty sure they're past that, even if they weren't Jewish. We have got to get out of this reflexive habit of assuming that people celebrate the same holidays that you do, or assuming that they celebrate holidays at all. I've had this thing going on in my house since my daughters were both very young. It actually started before Maddie was even born. It started when Mia was about 2 or 3, when she was old enough to take her out to dinner in kind of a meaningful way. So what I would do when I wasn't traveling, and by the way, this was all part of an initiative that I've had in place since my daughters were born. It's the Mommy is Overrated initiative, because it is crucially important that both of my daughters like me better than they like Jamie. It hasn't really worked very well, but I'm trying. So part of the Mommy is Overrated campaign is that when I'm home, I would take the girls out for dinner. We'd leave Jamie at home, which, by the way, typically she was just fine with. And I will never forget this one December evening. Mia was probably about 2, maybe even less. And there was this Japanese restaurant that was right around the corner from where we lived. And we would go to that Japanese restaurant, and I remember Mia and I walking home from the Japanese restaurant. I'm holding her hand, and we used to live next to an assisted living facility. And the woman at the ALF saw Mia, came out to greet Mia, and said to Mia, Mia, it's so great to see you. Merry Christmas. My freak of a daughter, at 18 months or 2 years old, or however old she was, looked at this incredibly well-intending woman and screamed at her, "We don't celebrate Christmas, we're Jewish." Looked up at me, "Okay, Daddy, let's go home." I'm like, dude, no, sorry. Listen, if you don't believe it from me, believe it from a 2-year-old. Believe it from a child. Do I get offended when somebody wishes me a Merry Christmas? I don't. I have friends who don't celebrate the holiday, whether they are Jewish or not, who do get offended, and I absolutely appreciate where they're coming from. I don't get offended. Is there a thought that goes through my head every time someone wishes me a Merry Christmas? There is. You know what that thought is? Oh my goodness, you think everybody here is just like you. Your world is about that big. So as leaders, let's make sure, please, whether it is in a more formalized environment like an interview where, of course, we would never, ever ask somebody about their holidays or specifically about their Christmas, recognizing that not everybody celebrates the holidays that you do or celebrates holidays at all. Whether it is in a less formal setting with your colleagues, with your coworkers, until and unless you know what holidays they do or do not celebrate, don't make those assumptions. And certainly once you do know, Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. That's just being a good coworker, just being a good colleague. But again, when we make those assumptions, what we're essentially saying to that person is, I think everybody here is exactly like me. Let me talk about one more thing that I see constantly. I want to take you into the Wayback Machine, into 2023. And in the time period between Thanksgiving and the end of the year in 2023, I was very, very busy. And I had visited in like a 3-week time after Thanksgiving, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 cities. And it was really interesting. And I will acknowledge, in December of 2023, we were about 2 months post the October 7th attacks in Israel. So I was a little sensitive in the moment. But I visited a lot of cities and a lot of workplaces, and in just about every workplace I visited, it was Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree. Big, bright, adorned with all sorts of decorations, very pretty. Teeny tiny little menorah, if any was even there. Teeny tiny little Kinara, if one even was there. We have to do a better job of appreciating that there are these different celebrations. For those who do celebrate holidays, there are these different celebrations and rites and traditions that exist that go beyond simply one holiday. And please stop telling Jewish people that they should feel free to erect a Hanukkah bush. Folks, that is not a thing. We don't put ornaments on anything. So, while I am absolutely, and please hear me when I say this, I am not a Scrooge, and I love this time of year. I am a city dweller, and I love the way the city sparkles this time of year. I love holiday music. I love the shopping. I love that people generally are in a better mood very often this time of year. But when we're decorating our workplaces, when we are greeting people at this time of year, let's please recognize at all times that not everybody celebrates the holidays that you do. Not everybody celebrates holidays at all. Be respectful at all times of the beliefs of each of the people with whom we work. As always, friends, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for sharing. Hope to see you real soon.